Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Excel related tutorial by Team Slidescope. In this part we are going to discuss 5 essential Excel functions for financial analysis. It is a quick reference master class for finance professionals. So we will start with transforming raw numbers into financial intelligence. Excel accelerates financial analysis by bridging the gap between raw data and actionable insights. So first we calculate, we can compare things like year over year growth, market share, etc. We can also do forecast, so future trend analysis and projections, and we can then interpret data interpretation and insights, like there is raw data, sales plus cost, then we do some calculations, outcome can be profitable or margin decline or different things. Here we are going to discuss it as a basic, like it is for beginners. What we need to do, these are 5 functions. We will cover more topics and we have many more tutorials on our channel where you can learn more. So first phase is core aggregation, establishing the baseline before you can analyze performance or build complex models. You must accurately aggregate the raw financial inputs. For example, you can have a financial data like this where you have account, it's a credit, saving or checking account. We have transaction date to different companies, if it is debit amount, if it is credit amount, or in amount, total amount with positive and negative signs. So this kind of data or different type of data can be there. So first is very basic function. We all know this, but this is used to quickly calculate financial totals. So if B2 to B10 contains monthly sales, sum calculates the total annual sales, and its formula is sum of B2 to B10, the target range. So here you can see we have data in F column, amount is between F. So if you want to know total amount or final balance here, because amount is both positive and negative, when amount is credited we will add, if amount is debited we will subtract. So we will write equal to sum, and here we will write F2 to, let's say there are 500 rows, so F 500, and whatever we have there, this is the final balance. If you want to find all credits, instead of F you will just write D2 to D500, and this will give you all debit, and this will give you all credit. So this is one important function which we use to find sum of elements in the target range and something like total annual sales. Next is measure average financial performance. So if B2 to B10 contains monthly revenue, let's say this is not sales, we are calculating monthly revenue. So in the similar way, average of B2 to B10, this is the data series, calculates the baseline monthly performance. So monthly revenue, volatility and average can be calculated. So here you will have your January, February, March, April and so on, and then you have your average. So you can use them together to create a graph like this. So this is your average function that you can use in the same way. So all you need to write is, instead of sum you will write average, and whatever is that value will come. So we can write average of, because here we have both positive and negative, so you have to do things carefully. But if you are doing this, so this is average, on an average per transaction how much is credited or debited can be found. Next is phase 2, that is conditional logic. So automating decisions, moving beyond absolute totals to create functions that respond dynamically to change financial conditions. So build financial decision logic. Excel evaluates the condition and automatically outputs the assigned business outcome. For example, if B2 is greater than C2, it is profit, else it is loss. So obviously in this case we have debit and credit, but if we write it like equal to if, so we are saying if amount, so amount is in F2, if F2 is greater than 0, that means if it is a positive value, we will say it is credit, else we will say it is debit, or income or expense, whatever you want to write. Okay, you can write it here. So else we will write debit, and you can use the conditions logically. So because in this row it is positive, it is credit, and then you can just, you know, ex expand this and you will be able to see credit debit, and formula will be applied for this particular column. So this is what you will do. So for example, decision tree diagram will look like, let's say revenue is 5 lakhs in rupees and expense is 4 lakh in rupees. V2 is greater than C2. Yes, true, then it will be profit. False, it will be loss. It is used for budget checks, profitability analysis, target tracking, financial alerts, and so on, which we have covered in our Excel tutorial videos. There are more than 50 such videos, and also in Power BI with more than 300 videos there you will learn this. Now next is add values based on conditions. So we studied sum, we studied if, then here is sum if. So sum if A to A10, this is our criteria range. Okay, whenever you will write sum if in Excel, it or any formula, so it will give you formula also, like sum if. You first have to select range, then your criteria, then your sum range. So range, let's say sum if, so let's say we want to sum if F2, something like that. Okay, this is our range that we want to sum if. So sum if your criteria range, marketing the condition, and B2 the sum range. So your criteria range should be, obviously here you will not write F2, let's say you will write C2, something like that. Sum if C2, then your criteria, let's say company A, sum if company A F2. So obviously because here we have to write range, we cannot write only one column. So we are saying C2 to C500 selected, and we will sum F2 to F500. Okay, so you will see now what we are seeing here is 19,560 is the amount, total amount for company A. If you just select company A and you just select and you know, sorry, auto sum, so here you will see that particular values. Right at the bottom you can see the same amount, which we can actually place anywhere by writing this formula. So sum if. Here another example, there are different departments: sales, HR, marketing, IT, and marketing. So you can see marketing comes 2 times. We have expenses. So each time expense is 1,20,000, 1,20,000. And if we filter for marketing or sum if for marketing, we'll write, let's say this is A. So sum A2 to A10, whatever is your department, and you will write the name of that department, and then you will write the expense. This is very useful for calculating department wise expenses, category wise sales, budget analysis, cost tracking, and all. Now we come to the phase 3, that is relational retrieval. So bridging data sets, evolving from single sheet logic into a multi data set architecture where information flows seamlessly across different tables. So let's say we have employee data, which is this, and we have payroll data where we have employee ID. So if you will see these two tables, employee ID is common between them. Here employee 105 is there, here also employee 105 is there, and there in the payroll data their salary are written. Our team is currently working on this HR and payroll management system. If you will log in here, so you will see we have a payroll dashboard. Obviously, you can generate payroll for a particular month. Let's say you want to generate it for August, it will be generated. Payroll dashboard will come. You have your employees. Obviously, we have to add employees, then we'll see. So here, adding employees will send employees to one table. Adding departments will send employees to another table, and so on. So this is something that you have to understand. And like in data sets also, even in SQL, even in Excel, it can be the same thing. Now, if you see here, this is your lookup value. Let's say you are looking up E2, then your lookup array A2 to A10, where you are looking, okay, and B2 to B10, your return array. So the syntax is X lookup, and obviously here we have one table, but if you will write, you will see X lookup, okay, in X lookup. So it works in the new version of Excel, and basically something here what we are doing is, if we have employee data and payroll data, so we will look up for that particular employee value in a lookup array, like in what array we are looking for this particular value, that is, let's say David Lee, and return array, we will select whatever is the return array. Here XLOOKUP helps you quickly find related financial information from different tables. So in this example, the formula XLOOKUP, whatever is written here, uses an employee ID as the lookup value. So like for example, EMP105, Excel searches the employee ID column, finds the matching employee and returns the corresponding value from the return column. This is return. For example, searching for employee 105 identifies David Lee and connects that employee ID to the payroll table where the corresponding salary is 75,000. This makes XLOOKUP useful for connecting employee, customer, sales, payroll or financial records without manually searching through large data sets. So what is the analyst metric here for these functions? Sum is core aggregation, absolute totals, establishing baseline revenue, expenses and cash flows. Average core aggregation, normalized metric, measuring baseline performance over time. If conditional logic, binary decision, setting automated budget checks and profitability alerts. And sum if conditional logic, again filter total, tracking a specific department or categorical cost. And XLOOKUP is a relational retrieval, that is exact match data connecting disparate financial reports and payroll tables. So master these fundamentals, automate the rest, and we will discuss more in upcoming chapters. Please subscribe to our channel for that, or watch other Excel dashboard building tutorials to learn more. Thanks once again. Have a nice day.